Okay, guys, welcome to class today. I'm going to walk you through a very brief lesson on multiplying and dividing fractions on your Friday. And here's the good news about your Friday is that multiplying and dividing fractions is easier in many ways, in my opinion, than adding and subtracting. First of which being, we're not going to need a common denominator anymore. It does not matter. Okay. Other reason being is you have the opportunity to cross cancel any common factors to do all of your reducing before you even start. So as the old elementary school adage goes, multiplying fractions is no problem. Top times top and bottom times bottom. So you can repeat that tonight, at the football game if you need a good cheer or something like that to do. So we multiply the numerators, we multiply the denominators, and then we're going to reduce. So here's a good example. You've got 2/3 times 5/8, and this is not really a pre-algebra level example. This is just a little review. What you've done in the past is you have 5/8 of 2/3. The answer is going to get smaller. Okay, so 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 8 is 24. And you have the opportunity to reduce here by a factor of 2. Multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, and then reduce to make it 5/12. The nice thing about multiplying is that you can also cross cancel to make your arithmetic easier. So cross canceling means that if there are common factors in the top left and bottom right, or bottom left and top right diagonal from each other, you can cancel those out before you multiply. Okay, and that takes out the middleman here a little bit. On some of the more complex ones where you have big numbers, this might be your friend. That's a hint for some of the problems on the homeworks tonight. Okay, so the same process will apply if I throw some variables and take this up to a pre-algebra kind of level. I've got 4a over 7b times 5a squared over 6ab. So I'm going to multiply the tops to make it 4 times 5 is 20. A times a squared is a to the 1, 2, 3. Product rule says we add exponents. And then the bottoms, 7 times 6 is 42. A times b squared, a times b is ab squared. And then, do I have the opportunity to reduce? And in this case, I do. I can factor out a 2 out of the 20 to make it 10. I can factor out a 2 out of the 42 to make it 21. I can reduce by a factor of a to make it a squared on top. And the b squared has no one to reduce with, so it just has to stay. So there you go. An algebraic fraction problem, all multiplying. If you move on to dividing, let's get a couple examples with dividing. Dividing is not really a real operation. All it is the reciprocation of multiplying. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. So what you have been taught in the past is copy, change, flip, or keep, change, flip, depending on how and where you learned it. This same rule is going to apply if we throw some variables in there. So let's take a look at copy, change, flip, right? So what copy, change, flip is, I copy the first fraction. I change the operation to multiply, and I flip the second fraction called the divisor to its reciprocal. If it's 6/7, it becomes 7/6. If it's 5/9, it becomes 9/5. If it's 4, it becomes 1/4. And then I'm just simply multiplying again. So I multiply the tops, bottoms, 3 times 6 is 18, and reduce. And it becomes 7/9. So you have you have definitely done this process before. The process is not going to change. Not going to change if I throw some variables in there, right? We just have to remember our algebraic rules here a little bit. So I copy the first fraction on this ugly 2x over 9 divided by 6x cubed over 5xa squared. 2x over 9a times the reciprocal of the divisor. 5xa squared over 6x cubed. Now I have to get algebraic about it. Okay, 2 times 5 on the top is 10. X times x is a squared, or sorry, x squared, and then I have to include that a squared as well. 9 times 6 is 54. X to the third a. Now, what can we reduce? What can we reduce? Well, 10 and 54 are both divisible by 2, so I'm going to divide them both by 2. Make it 5 over 27. And that's as simple as those coefficients will get. X squared on top of an x cubed. Some x's are going to fruit ninja. They're going to cancel out, right? So I'm going to cancel out my x squared, and 3 minus 2 is x to the first left on the bottom. A squared over a. I'm going to cancel out the a to the first power. 2 minus 1 is a to the first left on the top. So I've got 5a over 27x. And that should be enough to get you going. Once again, this is easier than adding and subtracting. No common denominators needed. We just multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, and reduce. Now, on your homework, once you see problems like that might look like this, where you have mixed numbers, we're always going to turn mixed numbers into improper fractions first before you follow that process. So just keep that in mind as you go forward. Have a great weekend. See ya.